Hey, Greg.
Hey, Tim.
How's it going?
Good. How you doing?
Pretty good.
Yeah. Nice Tuesday afternoon after a weekend of Eagles win.
Yeah, it was a good win. I wouldn't say it was a great win.
Yeah.
But they're moving on. It's playoffs. Doesn't matter. As long as you move forward, that's all that matters.
That's
right?
Exactly right. Without anybody getting hurt.
Yeah. Although they did lose Nakobe.
That's right.
Yeah. And they did say it's season ending, which is kind of unfortunate.
I forgot about that. Yeah.
He was playing well, but got to bring in, Burke, I think is the backup who's going to come in for him. So
yeah,
maybe a little Trotter Jr. Got a little Axeman Jr. coming in.
That'd be wild.
Yeah.
Anything else good this weekend?
We're looking at another car for the kids because we're getting to that point. I think Nora might be trying the old test this weekend. So
okay.
We'll see. We might have another driver. Or we might be delayed a couple of days. But I think she'll do fine. She's got a lot of practice, so she should be good.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah. But then the additional car, the additional insurance, all fun stuff.
Yeah. You can sell one kidney now and then the other one when they go to college.
That's right.
Well, it's funny because here in Pennsylvania, they do this like your test is in the streets.
Yeah.
Where growing up in New Jersey, I don't know if you know this, they have a test course.
Yeah. Same. They had one here.
Oh, they did?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought that was just completely different by state. Okay.
Yeah, we had, I think there were multiple options, and one of them was the closed course.
Yeah.
And so that's where I took mine. And I was telling Nora, it was a joke. It was like you would stop on a hill, which most cars back then were manual transmission, but there was a lot of automatics. So you'd stop on the hill, you do a little turn, do a K-turn in a little like sort of dead end area.
Okay.
And then pull up along the curb. That was it.
No parallel parking?
No parallel parking. No.
What?
Yeah. You just had to pull up next to the curb. There wasn't even any like actual parallel parking. Now, there was another test that was nearby that you did have to do the parallel parking. So nobody wanted to go there.
Gee, where do I want to go?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm assuming you passed your first
I did.
Your first go?
Yeah.
Nice.
My brother, he's going to hate me that I'm saying this, but he failed because he didn't wait for the officer to tell him to start. It was just as soon as he sat in the seat, my brother went.
Just went.
And he did it perfectly. The officer even told him, but he didn't wait to go, give him the command to go, so he failed him because of that.
That's that's kind of weak.
I think it is a bit of a luck of the draw, like who you get, to give it the test. But yeah,
I got a lucky guy when I took mine. I was nervous, of course, and I did fine. But when it came to the parallel parking, my first attempt was not so good, and he just let me go a second time, and he passed me. So I was like, oh, because I know other people told me horror stories of you mess up one thing and they're gonna fail you, and he no, go try it again. I'm like, all right. Now, we talked about cars a couple episodes back about family cars. Do you remember what car you took your driver's exam in?
Well, I was lucky. My parents were very nice, I guess, for lack of a better description, in letting me get a car like right away. Okay. So my dad did some work for a dealership, and so they had already found this Subaru Brat that became my first car.
Oh, sweet.
And so I had it.
Okay.
And so I ended up taking my test in that car that ended up being my car, which was the Subaru Brat, which I was telling Nora, like the whole thing about stopping and starting on the hill, it was a manual transmission. Yeah. And I think it's an 85 horsepower engine in that thing. Like it is, it's like a glorified lawnmower. Yeah. So in the cold of January when I took my test, like it's like idling kind of hard. Yeah. And so I pull out and the guy's like, control the vehicle better. I'm like, guy, this is how this thing runs, I mean, I didn't say that obviously. But, yeah. But I took it in that car. How about you?
I took it in that blue Dodge Colt.
Oh, okay.
That nice car, but it was easy. It's small. It was easy to maneuver. So
yeah, I had Nora doing some parallel parking in my truck.
Okay.
Which, I mean, the wheelbase alone is way longer than most cars, and the turning radius on it is like an 18-wheeler. Like it just doesn't, it's not very sharp, that it cuts. Yeah. And she did fine. She stayed within the cones I had set up at the elementary school. So.
Okay, very good. That's where we did the practice at the elementary school and any other parking lot we could find.
Yeah. But apparently in town, in Hellertown, there's some like rounded curbs that aren't the like square normal curb. Yeah. So it's a little easier on your rims if you have a low profile tire on your car and your kids are practicing. So
my parents live in an over 65 or over 55 community, and they don't have curbs. They're like an inch off the ground, and as you can imagine why they do that.
Yeah. And even with that, I'm sure occasionally you get someone who stumbles or catches their wheel or does something. It, so.
Yeah. Kind of funny.
Yeah. Like halfway up on the sidewalk. Close enough.
But that's not why we're here today.
No, I guess not.
What are we doing here today, Tim? What's the idea here?
Well, I think this was an idea you had come up with a little while back, and it's been we've talked about it, we've
sort of bounced around,
theorized, and now we're ready to do it, which is the creation of a super band, just picking and choosing a singer, a guitarist from any band throughout the years, and also doing one alive and one deceased.
Yeah.
Because unfortunately, so many great musicians, they're not with us long enough. They leave the earth at a young age. So
so we got a deceased supergroup and an alive supergroup.
Yeah.
All right. Well, and did you name your supergroups?
I came up with 2 names for each band, and I don't know, I might do a game day decision of like this one over that one, or maybe I'll give both options and the two of us can decide on what's the better name.
I like it. All right, so who wants to go first?
Do we want to do the full band? Or do you want to go like back and forth?
I think let's discuss each band.
The whole band.
Yeah, kind of give a vibe of what you're going for here.
All right, sounds good.
All right, you want me to go first?
Sure, go for it.
All right, we'll go with the alive version.
Sounds good.
So as I was doing my alive version, I was like, I could easily come up with a contemporary, like from the 90s and whatever with, band. But then I'm an old school guy. I love the older rock. And I'm like, I could come up with an older band, So I figured I'll save that for another day. This is more of a modern, alternative 90s grunge sort of vibe to it.
Yeah.
All right. So you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. My lead singer is Chris Robinson from the Black Crowes.
Yeah.
I love his voice. I've seen the Black Crowes 8,000 times in concert. He's amazing. Love it. And I like his soulful. He's fun. I don't know if you've ever seen them in concert.
I've only seen them once.
Okay.
But yeah, they were great.
The energy, he's an upbeat front man. He's getting the audience involved,
Yeah. And I have a real little tangent related to that, is that back, let's say 25 years ago or longer, there was no Google that you could like sing a song to and it would tell you what song or hum it or whatever. Like you just had to use your brain. So
Shazam.
Yeah, exactly. So probably for at least a year, my dad and I both had the melody of a Black Crowes song in our heads.
Okay.
But we couldn't think of who it was or what it was. And we would be like, and we're like, what is that? I know what that is. And then Hard to Handle one day, it just like came to me and I was like, oh my gosh, it's, Pretty Little Thing.
Light Your Candle.
So that experience is like, I still love that experience of like trying to figure something out versus just using the internet. But anyway.
Letting it come to you like over time.
Yeah. And then after that, I, became a fan of Black Crowes and went to see them in concert and everything. Nice. And now it's like, I would know it right away. But back then, when they first kind of broke into the mainstream.
Yeah.
So anyway.
That's funny. All right. So I'll go with my rhythm section next.
Okay.
I've got on drums. This might shock you. I think we're going to both have this guy in our band, but I've got Dave Grohl on drums.
Nice.
I think that he's just an amazing drummer. I like the vibe he's got down, and he's my drummer.
Yeah.
The bassist is from one of my all-time favorite bands, the Red Hot Chili Peppers. We got Flea, and I'm pretty sure Flea and Grohl are going to vibe just fine when it comes to my rhythm section.
Yeah, definitely.
I am going to add a pianist.
Okay.
I'm a huge fan of Ben Folds.
Okay.
And I think he's versatile enough. I don't know if you ever listened. He can do lots of different things. I figured he'd kind of easily slide in there with some piano in the band. And now this one might shock you. All right. So my rhythm guitarist is Dave Matthews.
Okay.
He's not a great. He doesn't even. I'm not a huge Dave Matthews fan.
Yeah.
But I love his rhythm that he throws down with his songs. He's got some great stuff. And then I'm gonna top it off with Dean DeLeo from probably my favorite
Stone Temple Pilots.
Yeah. Stone Temple Pilots.
Yeah.
And I think this provides a crunchy, bluesy sort of, but yet rocking kind of band.
Yeah. I think that's a great collection of musicians. I think we should make some phone calls, see if we can make this happen. So did you come up with a name for this band?
I did. Because I'm stealing these guys from other bands, I'm going to call the band The Ganked. Now, I don't know if the generation knows what ganked means, but it just means to take something,
sure.
accidentally. You don't like purposely mean to steal it. Like, oh man, you ganked, my hat or my lighter or whatever. And so I figured the ganked.
All right. There it is.
There it is. It's out for the world.
Very cool.
How about yourself? What you got?
All right. So mine's a little bit all over the place. I'm just going to say it.
Okay.
So my lead singer, I went with Corey Taylor, who sings in a couple different bands, most notably Slipknot. Oh. But he also sings in Stone Sour.
Yep.
And so he's got this sort of really angry, intense, like overly heavy, sort of sound that he can do when he's singing. But then he also has this pretty melodic, sort of soulful sound of like Through Glass. That song's like been played on like pop stations and everything like that.
Yeah.
And side note, it's funny. A few people bought Stone Sour, the album, thinking it was going to all be like Through Glass. It's not. It's very Slipknot-like. But anyway, I thought it was sort of a out there choice as opposed to what I would have probably by default picked.
Yeah.
So I'm going to pair that. I'll do my rhythm section as well. So on drums, I went a little bit older. I went with Tommy Lee.
Good, yeah.
Because growing up, the video with him being in the cage with it spinning, like to me, I'm like, if you can play the drums while spinning, I don't know, it just always left such a strong impression.
Yeah.
And like the size of his drum kit. Like I feel like today's drummers, they play relatively small kit.
Not
Tommy had like, I think it was like 150 drums surrounding him or something. But anyway, on bass, Flea's going to have to share time between our two bands. I had to go Flea.
You got to go Flea,
yeah, he's incredible. And just what he brings to a band, let alone his ability to play the bass, is pretty amazing.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
I threw a pianist in as well.
Oh, you did?
This is way out there.
Okay,
he's not probably going to mesh with the band at all. I went Elton John. Just because I thought it would be wild to have him play like some really heavy, like alt rock kind of music.
That would be awesome.
Then on rhythm guitar, I went with James Hetfield from Metallica, because I thought it'd be fun for him to throw in some additional backing growls and lyrics and everything. Yeah. Then let's see what else. Then on lead, again, I sort of bent the rules a little bit here. I went with Kurt Cobain on lead guitar because of all the iconic songs and so much of like I love Nirvana and what he would bring to the songwriting part of it. Okay. And also could jump in on with some lyrics and some vocals as well. So there's my weird assemblage.
The Elton John is the icing on the cake.
Yeah.
Now, would they all wear the big sunglasses or just Elton?
Well, Kurt was known for wearing the big sunglasses as well.
That's true.
Corey Taylor's known for wearing like a full mask in Slipknot. So totally would get down with some big sunglasses. I think Flea also, no problem there.
That's all he would wear.
Yeah.
Would be the sunglasses.
Yeah, exactly. And so that would definitely be a calling card for the band, the giant sunglasses, I think.
I like it. Yeah. I like it. And so you're definitely going with a heavier vibe.
Oh yeah. They're gonna rock.
I should say so.
So I came up with two names.
Okay.
So I'm gonna throw them both out at you, and we can maybe figure out which one works best with this group.
Sure.
So the first one is Anakin's Insanity.
Okay.
So
I like it.
A little nod to Star Wars, a little bit of the chaotic nature of this collection that I put together here.
Yeah, and you'd have to be insane to kill a bunch of younglings. So I like it.
And then the second is Agent C. So it sounds like agency, but it's agent with a T and then C.
Because it's such a heavy band, I kind of like Anakin's Insanity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was my first one, but somehow agency just had kind of a cool ring to it.
I really like it.
Yeah.
That to me is more of like a prog rock kind of, or a punk rock.
Yeah. So I'll hold that one for another collection.
Another collection. I like it. Very cool.
Yeah.
Definitely heavy, Yeah. Cool.
I tried, there's these AI apps where you can put in different information and it'll generate a song.
Oh yeah.
So I thought it would be cool if I could take all these things. That's a great idea. But it won't, at least the app that I had, it won't let you put in like a proper name of a band for its generation process. I don't know why that is, but I'm going to keep digging, because if we can get to that point where we can make a song that is inspired by all these different players. I think it'd be pretty awesome.
That's fantastic. All right, well, that was pretty cool. I like your band. I like heavy stuff, so I think we can contact their agents and see what we can do. I always imagined part of this idea that I came up with was like, if I won the lottery, I would ask these people to come and record a song just for like a benefit.
Yeah.
And like I would pay, and they have to come, and they'd have to do it just to see what they could, and give them like a weekend. Yeah. Like what could they come up with in a weekend? Yeah. And put it out there and raise money for charity. Yeah. So
they could hang out at your wasn't it Roy Rogers? You were going to put in your backyard.
Well, I'll bring them fried chicken.
Put a little recording studio inside the Roy Rogers and just make magic.
They want a break? We'll go play some arcade games, and we'll have a good time.
It sounds like a pretty awesome future you've got laid out.
I just need the money, Tim. I just need the money.
That's awesome.
All right, so we'll go on to our deceased band, if you want to kick that one off.
Sure.
All right.
So for a singer, I had to go with STP as well. So I'm going with Scott Weiland, lead singer of STP, Velvet Revolver.
Of course.
I just loved his voice. I sang karaoke to Stone Temple Pilots once, so yes.
How did that go?
I thought it went amazing, but yeah, I don't know about everyone else. So then, let's see. I'll jump down to the rhythm section. I'm going to go with Taylor Hawkins, Foo Fighters.
Good call. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah. He, again, one that, just way too young, and just sort of out of the blue. But yeah, I love the way he played. I just loved his energy.
So good.
Yeah. So many great songs.
Would they do an Alanis Morissette cover?
Probably. So on bass, I'm going to go with Cliff Burton from Metallica.
So good.
I am going to throw a pianist in there. Again, I went in this category. I tried to do something that maybe would be, not seen coming, and that was Freddie Mercury from Queen.
Okay,
because he did play the piano
very well, actually.
Yeah. Could lend a little bit of vocals behind
that's
Scott
true.
as well. See how that would mix.
Okay.
And then on rhythm guitar, I'm going Chris Cornell.
Okay.
So again, I went lyric heavy, lyricist / vocalist heavy.
You want them to work together. Yeah,
absolutely. And then I really had no choice on lead guitarist. I had to go Eddie Van Halen. So.
I knew you were going to do that.
Yeah. So that's my band: Scott Weiland, Eddie Van Halen, Cliff Burton, Taylor Hawkins, Freddie Mercury, and Chris Cornell.
I like it. Yeah. I like it. It's definitely. It would be amazing if you put such amazing musicians together in a room to see what they would come up with, because that would be crazy.
Yeah, we'll never know, but
we'll never know. Yeah.
So for this one, I had two versions of a name for them. The first was Carbon Foil.
Carbon Foil, okay.
And the other was Carbon Night, but spelled with a K. So like Carbon Night.
That's a tough one.
Yeah. Because I was playing around with like carbon fiber.
Okay.
But then I was like, what would be like the complete opposite? Something that's not very sturdy and able to resist things. Yeah. And I'm like, foil. It's very thin and tears. Carbon foil. And then Carbonite, I was playing around with the whole, because I did the Anakin's Insanity.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, Carbonite. But then I was like, what if I do Carbon Night with a K? So
I like it. I think I like Carbon Foil.
Yeah.
It rolls off the tongue. I could see a T-shirt with a CF, right? Very marketable.
Yeah. So there it is, Carbon Foil.
Very good. Now, you think they'll be heavy? They'll be definitely a heavier band, right?
Some of it definitely, but with like Scott Weiland as a singer, like he did a lot of like blues, almost like lounge singer kind of stuff.
Yeah, he did.
I think it could be kind of fun to be on the ends of the spectrum of being like pretty heavy, like a STP Cracker Man, sort of like, and then something super chill and mellow. Yeah. So yeah.
Very cool. I like it.
Yeah.
Carbon Foil. All right, so I'll start with my deceased band. Now, the front man, in my opinion, is the greatest front man to ever exist, and I'll be borrowing him from your band, and that is Freddie Mercury.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, have you ever seen him, like, footage of him in concert? He's just...
it was incredible.
Fantastic, right? Yeah. And the singing, I mean... It's just, his voice was amazing.
Yeah.
So I'm going with Freddie Mercury as my lead front man. Now, as far as my rhythm section goes, I cheated just a little bit. Okay.
Well, I cheated a lot, so go for it.
Tom Petty, who is a guitarist, was a bassist in a supergroup known as the Traveling Wilburys.
Yeah.
I love Tom Petty. He's going to be my bassist.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So he did it before, so I figured I can get away. I can get away with that. And the kind of the vibe I'm going for here is very classic rock, anthem rock, kind of with a little bit of like coolness in it, like chill factor. Yeah. So I got Tom Petty on bass and then John Bonham on the drums. Yeah. I figured amazing drummer. Sure. Why not with Tom Petty? I'm sure they come up with some stuff. As you can see, the stadium rock filling out here. Yeah. Now the pianist, I had a hard time on this one, but I really think he would blend in with these other people that I got, and that's Warren Zevon. I think he's a great, I wasn't a huge fan, but great musician. You can't blame it. Sure. I think he'd fit in with the band and fill it out nicely. Now, rhythm guitar, he's going to be upset because he's not playing lead guitar, but I got to bring in Stevie Ray Vaughan. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, just probably, you got Jimi Hendrix, of course, but Stevie Ray Vaughan was just an amazing guitarist. I love Stevie Ray Vaughan, and I love the blues. But my lead guitar, who's probably one of the most amazing musicians ever, I got to put Prince on lead guitar.
It's funny when you mentioned how you are putting Petty as a bassist, but because he played, multiple instruments. Yeah. In my head, I was like, Prince is going to be a part of this band, so you didn't disappoint.
You got it. Yeah. Yep. So I got Freddie Mercury singing, Prince on lead, but him and Stevie Ray Vaughan can switch off between rhythm and lead. Tom Petty on bass, John Bonham and Warren Zevon rounding it out. The only kink in this, I think, is Prince being such a diva. I'm not sure how well he would fit in with the other members.
Yeah, he definitely would have to be willing to play nice in the sandbox, but I think they could make some amazing music together. So. Yeah. And obviously we'd never know this, but what his voice paired with Freddie Mercury's voice, they both could really make some amazing lyrical combinations and melodies. I know. That's awesome.
If only. Yeah. Now I did have a hard time. I came up with a really lame band name. Like it's almost so lame. I think I'm gonna change it to like Coffee Table. The name I came up with was Ethereal Spirits. Really lame. I think I'm going with Coffee Table instead.
It has possibilities, but it feels a little like they need something a little more weighty.
Yeah. Coffee tables are kind of weighty. So I'll be working on that, a better name for that band.
Maybe Cement Spirits. It's got some weight to it.
There you go.
Cool. Yeah. Well, that's... it's a fun experiment to go through and look through some of the music that you love and some of the musicians that maybe you didn't listen to as much, but truly appreciate how gifted they are. I've had this discussion with so many people over the years. I can draw and I have a talent on some level, to be artistic. And I always sort of downplay it. And I'm like, I'm not that good and blah, blah, blah. But on a guitar, like I hear someone play live and I'm like, oh my gosh, I have such musical envy for someone who can perform at that level, because I can play the guitar, but it's like when I compare it to my ability to draw, I'm like, I can draw. Playing the guitar, I make a lot of noise and it's fun, but it's not good by any means.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
Well, if anybody has any, super groups they want to throw by us, they can email us at dads@latchkeydads.com. Let us know if you got any fun ideas.
And, the last thing that, I did mention earlier on that there's these AI apps where you can generate music, and, thought it would be fun to obviously create something in the vein of the bands that we've created. Yeah. But I did throw into it, create a theme song for a podcast called Latch-Key Dads that's 80s centric, and that was about all I gave it. And so it generated this song, and we'll play it for you guys, and you can let us know what you think. It's the Latch-Key Dads theme song.
There you go. Love it.
Remember the days of Goonies and arcade games, riding BMX bikes through the suburban lanes, big hair and neon lights in our favorite mall. We were latchkey kids just having a ball. Cartoons after school, no one else was home. Transformers battles on the living room floor alone. Junk food and cereal while watching MTV. Latchkey dads, we became so free. Latchkey dads, we're 80s proud. Living large, no parents allowed. Latchkey dads, through thick and thin, growing up where the wild times begin. high scores and mixtapes on cassettes, MTV music videos with no regrets, Saturday morning cartoons with our trusty bull. Latch-Key Dads, always rockin' and roll. Sunset gleaming on our roller rink skates, sneaking into movies with our best mates, dreaming big in a world so grand. Latch-Key Dads with our futures unplanned. Latch-Key Dads, we're 80s proud, living large, no parents allowed. Latch-Key Dads, through thick and thin, growing up where the wild times begin. Latch-Key Dads, we're 80s proud, living large, no parents allowed. Latch-Key Dads, through thick and thin, growing up where the wild times begin.
All right, everybody, now that Tim has left the room, you may have noticed he included Kurt Cobain in his Alive band. So I think it's, I can tell you that he still believes that Elvis and Kurt Cobain are alive, living on an island somewhere. I think Bigfoot's there along with Tupac. So I don't mention it because it kind of gets him a little upset. So we'll just let that one slide. Get enough Latch-Key Dad content? Well, check out latchkeydads.com.
That's right, Greg. On our website, we've got a plethora of photos from each episode, as well as other interesting links to content that we talk about on the show.
Yeah, Tim, I really enjoy all the pictures that you put up there, as they really bring the episode home.
Yeah, I guess I'm not afraid to show those embarrassing photos of my childhood, so... yeah, we encourage you to check out the website, latchkeydads.com, for all that content.
Excellent. And if you have a moment, check out our shop page where we've got really cool keychains for sale. If you don't know what to get your dad for Christmas, the holidays, Father's Day, birthday, check it out. It's a cool gift. Tim, did you know that listeners should like, review, and subscribe to the Latch-Key Dads podcast?
No. But now I know.
Knowing
exactly about